Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nam Jai Gauram Madhushvare, Nam Jai Gauram Madhushvare. 29. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nam Jai Gauram Madhushvare. Grihe Thako Bhane Thako Sadahari Bhole Thako. Grihe Thako Bhane Thako Sadahari Bhole Thako. Suke Dhuke Bhulo Nako Varane Nam Jai Gauram Madhushvare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Maya jalle bada hoye, acho miche kazuye. Eko no chetana te Radha Madhav Nam Bolo Re. Nam Kai Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nam Kai Gauram Madhishware. Jivana hoy Rishikesh. Life can end at any minute, and you have not yet worshipped the Lord. Thakur Bhakti Vino Rupareshekmanam Rashimatore. Thakur. Nam Kai Madhishware. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Jai Gauram Madhishware. Nam Jai Gauram Madhishware. Grihe Tako Mane Tako Sarahari Bole Tako. Sound good, sound good. Suke tuke bulo na ko varane ha Maya jale bada hoye atuniche kajloye. Maya, tap you on the neck. Maya. Ekono chetana pe Radha Madhava Nam Bolo Re. Just chant Radha Madhava. Radha Madhava Nam Bolo Re. Radha Madhava Nam Bolo Re. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Shri Harinam Kirtan Ki, Shri Harinam Mantra Ki, Shri Harinam Prabhu Ki, Gaur Premanande. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Getting the band back together. So let's hear any reflections that you have so far about your experience of coming here, getting out of the orbit that you're in, getting here. It's very recently. Anything we read, anything you're feeling right now. Sharing means caring. Salvation Army. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
So, traveling in India stresses me out, honestly. And every time I go through security, something or the other happens. And even this time when I was going through security, something was taken away, which I felt like shouldn't have been taken away. Having that taken away and thrown away really just pained me, because for someone else who is a third party, you know, they might be doing their job or they might be looking at it a different way, but the value that it had to me continues to, I guess, make an impact. And I was just thinking about how there's so much impermanence in the world, and even though that item perhaps had nothing to do with me, it's so easy to develop attachment, which binds us.
Was it prasadam?
It wasn't prasadam, it was the...
Oh, better not tell us, so we won't be able to sleep.
It was the...
Thinking that it was taken away. What was it?
It was the chutney. It was from Govardhan Eco Village. It was chutney.
Oh, it was prasadam.
Yes, it was like the chutney.
Chutney, hey.
Masalas.
Well, a godbrother once told me that Prabhupada told him. Who else? Giri?
Yeah, like one thing I realized in these past 2 days, I gained so much like experience. I guess like knowledge from the people around me because they gave me a. I was able to talk like in these like I guess like yesterday I talked like 1 hour just with Chaitanya Nimai Prabhu, just about like the Bhagavad Gita and like life in general. We had like a deep conversation. But then again today we had very confidential talks about like I guess regarding like I guess personal life and how to make it better, which I do not feel like I would have got this, but like since I did got it, I feel like very happy. I cannot
That's
describe
good. It's one of the purposes of this whole event that takes a long time to plan, a year, at least a year to plan, and to execute because of all the cancellations and things like that. It's a great endeavor, but it's all worth it because a yajna, this kind of yajna, allows us association. And that's the most valuable asset we can get. And thanks for the way you expressed it. It made a lot of sense. It resonated. If that's really Ranchor, then go ahead.
Hi, Krishna. So I come from a South Indian family, somewhat South Indian family.
Which part are you from?
It's a little complicated, but
Okay, all right.
we're essentially Gujaratis that have settled in Tamil Nadu, that have strong Tamil culture. But when my family joined ISKCON, one of the strongest objections, even after demigod worship, was, okay, you can be Vaishnavas, but why are you Gaudiya Vaishnavas? You should be Sri Vaishnavas, because of the attachment to the land. And so the first thing is that I'm realizing on this yatra is showing that, in one sense, that dichotomy is false, because Lord Chaitanya, these temples we're going to, at least some of them are traditionally like Sri Vaishnava temples, like Ranganath temple, but Lord Chaitanya still went there, so it becomes a place of pilgrimage for the Gaudiyas. And when I was telling some of my extended family about the places we were going, they were kind of like, why are you going at this time? It's all going to be crowded. And I was thinking, they're just thinking about going in, getting a darshan of the temple and leaving, but they're not thinking about the hearing and chanting that we'll do. And it made me grateful for not just going to these places, but being able to hear and chant in the association of devotees and to hear from you about the different pastimes that have occurred in these places is the real value, more so than just going and seeing the Didi and coming back, but partnering that experience with the deep philosophical and lila understanding from the views of our acharyas is the big real benefit, more than just coming and going to the places.
Hare Krishna.
Oh.
So,
Please.
yeah. I had been having my pre-boards going on right now, and so I'm not coming from America.
Medical school?
No, I'm in 10th.
Oh, 10th grade.
Yeah.
Pre-boards, that sounds pretty heavy.
Yeah. No, it's actually not that bad, but it's India. I'm in Pune, and basically it's very competitive. So the pressure has been on, and I'm studying art like side by side as well in school. So I've just been like thinking about my portfolio and everything, and I never really had a moment for myself to paint what I want, to draw what like makes me feel happy. And I was really grateful to come to the yatra and have this one extra day where like nothing is happening that like significant. Like yesterday, it was just we were here the whole day, and I had so much time to just paint, like draw, sketch what I really wanted to sketch. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like just and then you were mentioning, we were reading in the Chaitanya Charitamrita like right now, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "I know he is very unhappy within, and upon seeing him unhappy, I become twice as unhappy." And I realized that's so mother-like, that's so much love, and it shows how really good example how relationship between devotees should be like. And so I see like many times especially in like our age group, we see other people happy and then we become unhappy. We're like, oh, why is that person unhappy? And I realize that's where I should be changing. When I see someone happy, I have to find that happiness for them. And if I see them happy, that I have to really pause and see, okay, I have to find my sympathy, find the empathy. And it shows how loving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. So I really, really appreciated that. Thank you.
Well done, well done. Sadhu, sadhu. Hey, Pula, were you about to say something?
Hare Krishna. Since many of us don't know all of you, and you don't know each other, maybe before you speak, you can just say your name, okay?
Name, social security number. Okay, who else? Yes. Who is that? Something going on around
Hare
here.
Krishna Maharaj, Hare Krishna everyone, so nice to see all of you.
Great to have you.
My name is Shrikar. I wrote down a question similar to what Rancho was talking about, this dichotomy of how, Mahaprabhu visited a lot of Sri Vaishnava temples, but Mahaprabhu is in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So could you elaborate a bit more on this dichotomy, on this difference, apparent contradiction?
There's no contradiction. Departure eva hidashantanama vipeta dipayate bravatehetu samadharana. Yes, tadrage nuchaya vipati govindamani purusham tamaham bhajami. There's one original candle and many other candles can be lit from the original candle, but there's still one original. And in the spiritual world, there's complete harmony, but there's also difference for enjoyment. Hare Krishna, welcome. Yay! I was worried there for the first hour, 20 minutes. Welcome, great to have you all here, finally. Fantastic. Yeah, great question, Sukar Prabhu. So, we find Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveling in South India. And when he comes to Sri Rangam, he stays at the house of Yankatabhata. And there at the house of Yankatabhata, there's great harmony. But there's also some beautiful conversation that is about the same topic you brought up. And we might note the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he discusses with Vyankatabhata. Vyankatabhata was a follower of Ramanuja and a worshipper of Lakshmi Narayan, as was appropriate in Sri Rangam. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed with him, they had a deep friendship. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu questioned him one day. He said, so, Panditji, why is it that your Lakshmi had performed severe austerities to try to join into the rasa dance? And the author mentions that it was in a very friendly, loving mood. So in that discussion, Vyankatabhata defers back to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that I cannot say, you are sannyasi, you please tell me. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in that conversation establishes how there's no difference between Srimati Radharani and Lakshmi, except there is. And that's our philosophy, achinta bhed abhed tattva, for that rasa. And that ananda chinmaya rasa pratibhavitavis tabhiri eva nijaripa taya kalavi goloka eva nivasatya kilatma bhuto govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. That from Srimati Radharani come all the other expansions, all the Lakshmis expand. First of all, from Srimati Radharani come all of the queens in Dwarka. And then the expansion from them of the Lakshmis in Vaikuntha, who accompany, or the consorts of the different forms of Narayan. And then, of course, in the material world, we have Durga, also originally an expansion from Srimati Radharani. And so Lakshmi couldn't enter into the rasa because she didn't want to give up her abhiman, or her mood of Aishwarya. And therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was making a point, and he quoted the famous verse from Bhagavatam, Nayam Sukapo Bhagavan Dehinam Gopikasta Gyaninam Chatmabhutanam Yata Bhaktimatam Niha. That Krishna can't be attained except by pure devotional service. I mean, Krishna, there's this very specific kind of love that is exchanged in Vrindavan that's spontaneous. And that's not there in the Vaikunthas. So, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, you can understand the dichotomy and also the harmony that's there at the same time. Variety is the spice of life. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was moved wherever he went. He was in ecstasy, seeing the various servants of the Lord. Even he visits various temples of the demigods and sees them as in their proper position as servants of the Lord. After all, in the Brahma Samhita, we hear about many of the major personalities like Ganesh, right? Yat pada pallava yugam vinayaya kumbha. In that verse, it describes how Ganesh, whom everyone has on their dashboard, in America growing up, everyone had a little image of Jesus. There was a song about it. I don't care if it rains or freezes, because I have my plastic Jesus resting on the dashboard of my car. So everyone has Ganesh, but then he says, Ganesh gets his power from holding the lotus feet of Lord Nrsingadev on his tumuli, protruding from his elephant head. So then we understand in context who Ganesh is, who everyone is. And of course, we find in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela that people are in different moods. And everyone can take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's why there's nobody better than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And if they worship Lord Ramachandra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although he told Anupam, chant the Krishna mantra, and he tried, and then he cried all night. The next day he came back and said, I've sold my head at the lotus feet of Ranganath, so I can't undo it. And Mahaprabhu embraced him and appreciated his devotional service. Good for a precursor?
Jay, thank you so much.
So we can explore more during the next 10 days. Anything else? Yes.
Hare Krishna, I'm Amrita Sagar Das. I was just thinking that this South India tour is a great opportunity for us to learn about the different preaching tactics that Mahaprabhu used. In the first purport that we read, it was explained that he chose to go to South India to start widespread congregational chanting because it was more favorable. And even though he's, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he can choose to give devotional service to anyone. He chose to show us the example of going to someplace favorable. And even in this conversation with Venkatapada, he, instead of being argumentative, just asks a seemingly innocuous question. Why is it that Lakshmi wants to go into the rasa dance? So I think it's really nice for us to analyze the different ways that Mahaprabhu chose to preach.
Yeah, and in the different categories we can see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discussed rasa only with his most intimate devotees, Ramananda Roy and Swarup Damodar, as an example. And then with others, he talked about the philosophy of devotional service, like Rupa and Sanatan. You have the complete explanation of devotional service from beginning to end. Then with scholars like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he discussed the Atmarama verse and he went into grammar and he talked about logic. And with Prakashananda Saraswati, he talked about sambandha, abhideya, and prayojana, very general terms. And so, for people in general, he just chanted Hare Krishna. In fact, there he was, in Jagannath Puri, his main program for the people in general is just chant Hare Krishna. He didn't have to even worry about prasadam distribution at that time because the Jagannath temple, that's what they do. Just chant Hare Krishna. Very nice, this is good. Let's have two more. I dare. Okay.
Hare Krishna, I'm Abai from ISV.
And U of M.
And U of M. I was wondering how Krishna Das, it says later in a following chapter that Krishna Das was, and Mahaprabhu, he was indifferent to him after that and gave him up essentially. And then when he started to cry because of that, the devotees swooped in and gave him some service that he could do. And reading this was a little bit confusing, as we're often told that Mahaprabhu is Patita Pavan. And in this instance, it seemed like he was stopping his mercy from going in to a certain person, who was also his dear assistant. So I was wondering if you could explain why Mahaprabhu chose to do that.
Well, mercy goes both ways. You've heard of tough love. That's also mercy. When you give a merciful instruction to your child, for instance, don't touch the hot stove, or you give some special chastisement, that's also out of mercy. It's not that, it's just a hippie house. Feels good, do it, and Lord Nityananda, except for in their mood. So although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when Nityananda broke his danda, he became perturbed, more than perturbed, he was angry. So angry that he said, have you ever traveled with somebody and then you said like, hey listen, you know, we're going to the same place, but I don't want to go with you anymore. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Nityananda. He said, hold my danda. He came back, where's my danda? You broke it. You were in ecstasy, and then it would fill into pieces. You just threw it in the river. Can everyone move up, please, by 7.2 inches, except for the cameraman? And as enigmatic as that pastime is, it's the same person, but they have two moods. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was externally showing how to follow the etiquette of carrying a danda, even though Paramahansa